Welcome back to my channel Web Coding with Ankur, where we dive into web development and JavaScript framework. Today, we are exploring a fundamental concept in React.js, functional component. We will break down what they are, how to use them, and even build an interactive example together. So let's get started. As we are talking about the function component React.js. So what exactly the function component is? In simple terms, they are JavaScript function that returns a React element. They are the simplest way to write component in React and have some powerful and become more powerful with the introduction of hook in React 16.8. Here now you can see I am showing the basic syntax of functional component, how the basic functional component is written in React.js. You can see that we have an import React is from React. So in order to build a React component, we have to create a arrow function. You could say here in this example, I have created a my component with an arrow function, fat arrow function. Inside this, you can find a return statement of return, which return a HTML code that was div inside a hello world having a heading h1 containing the text hello world. This return statement inside this return statement, this text will be displayed on the from UI side, from the user side. And after that, in order to use this my component, you have to export that default my component. Otherwise, you are not able to use that component in your file. So here my component is a functional component that return from JSX. This is the part. This is JSX, which you see that entire div. We have div and a heading element and a hello world. This is a JSX element, and it is a plain JavaScript function. And can it take props and as an argument? About props, we can discuss in some other videos in the coming videos. So in this example, I will also let you create. We also create some basic functional component, and I'm also able to create some coding. Now you can see we have a coding session time. In this coding session time, we can create a new functional component. How the functional component is created in React.js, how you able to export that component and use your main parent component file. And now we have all now after that, in order to give a some interactive look, we have also create some to-do list using the functional component and hook. You haven't heard about hook, but in the coming video, I made a video on hooks, how the hooks can be used in functional component. So let's move on to our Visual Studio to build a new functional component and an interactive application of a small to-do list to see how the functional component works in React.js. Now you can see that this is my welcome page of my application. Here what is functional component, and this is my Visual Studio code. So let's get started to build a small component. So from as we have to build some interactive component, so we will start with the first of to create a add to do list in for building as a functional component. So suppose let's get started. We can create a file with the name of to do list dot list.jsx. Okay, now we can create a functional component for this. As you can see that this is the functional component of to do list. Okay, and it will return from jsx element, and it has a export default option. And now we include this component to our app parent component. Okay, which is our parent component? Our parent is the app component where this text is written. So let call this to do list on here. Now here you can see our to do list will be displayed on the page. Now here you can find it small, so let me make it big. So we can give a h2 element to it so that it can so we can easily able to see this. Now here we build a small interactive to-do list component. Here you can see that this is the functional component hidden, and this is the to-do list. Okay, now we can remove that list. Okay, now this is how the simple component. This is how the functional component created in React.js. Now let's build some interactive in this. We are able now we can build a to-do list by on clicking. We can create a button on and input type field. We can type the text inside input field, and after we click on button, that text will be added in the to-do list. So let's get started. So first of all, we have to build a to-do with the help of hooks. Okay, so we take to-dos. Fact to-dos is equal to useState. This is the hook. You are not in the coming video, I will able to know what is this hooks used for in the functional component, but for a time being you are just able to understand that we are using the hooks in React. And we can have the input value. We can take it an input value for in which we have to set the text input value. and we can take it in use state as empty. We don't want to add some text in this. Okay, now we have a to-do list. Now enter br giving a small, so we take an input type text. Okay, and name is equal to value is equal to, you can take it as input value, the text which you put. And on change we can able to set this input value. Okay, we can set this uh, input value what we type in this, we can set this input value and we can close this thread. Okay, after below this we can create a button on which this value is submitted, and the value is pushed inside to do. Okay, so we can create a button, and we can write add to do, and on top of that I we can create a function of on click and add to do. We can build that function here. So your fat to do, okay, so we can build add to do. We can build a fatter function for this, and in this we set value. After that, first of all we have to set the input type variable, which is for on change set input value. So we can create function for that, constant fat value. We can take it, we have to create a function for who can set the input type text value. Set we can check as set value. Okay, constant fat value, and on top of that we have this, we have an e for it, e for event, and on after that we have to set that fat input value, fat input value to e dot target dot value. The thing is that this function, what the functionality of this function, this function is to do, that what you type will be fat by fat. When you type the text value in this, the fat value function call the fat the input value with the help of e dot target dot value. Now what to do with the add to do? So we set for, when we click on button for adding add to do, so we have to add to do. In this we have to create an array, because add to do we are inside use state, we are already taking an array. So in this we take old value of to do's, and on top of that input value which we got after entering into input type variable. We, and after that, after save, we set input value to false, input value to empty. Okay, now let's see what we see in that in the UI side. Okay, here we have button is not visual, so we give some class to it. So on button you can see we can give a class name, and I can give a button online. I can take it as primary. Okay, now you can see that button will be visual to you. Mm, button outline primary, button also will be there. So button you can see here. Now I have to give you more, so that we can easily see it button here. Okay, now you can see add to do button, and you can have a text here, what you type, anything, first item, one item, two item, you have to type here. Okay, this is the to do list. So now what we have to do, below this we have to create, we have to display that to do list which we are adding in this. Okay, so in order to do this we have to run the map option for this, for to do's dot map, and on top of that to do's to do and index. On top of that we can, and we can use that ul. Okay, we can use ul for this. We can use ul, copy that, and after ul here and inside li we can see this, enter this, we can give to do. Okay, and for key we have to give this index, so we can type this as index. Okay, so we can format some code like this, we get it to do. Okay, Now what we have to do, now let's try whether we are able to add some to dos or not. So move on to our UI page. So let's see, and let's type first item and add, click on add. Yes, we are able to find, but we have now we can add second item to it. Yes, but this UI li is not coming properly, so we want be able to add some class here for the list group. So we can add class name, so list group items. Okay, and now in this we have to also add list items, class name, list items. Okay, now see that whether the RUI will be so we have to add some anchor. So we have to see what we list group. I find the issue. What would the issue in this my CSS? So list group, and inside this we have to type this list group item. Okay. Now you can see in the UI part. And now we can type at first item. Okay, but we are not able to see, so we give some background to it. So we can give bg info. Okay, so that if we can get some color, you can see that we can get some color first item. Now we can type second item, and now we can type third item. This is how actually this is how we can, this is the add to do list with the help of functional component we have built this. And you can see here, now you are able to see that how the functional component is built and how we can build an interactive example with the use of functional component React.js. So on going to it, now we can talk about some advantage of using the functional component React.js. Now as we are moved to our second last topic of this video, so now we are talking about some advantages of functional component. Now let's talk about why functional component so popular. Simplicity. First of all, the functional component are of simplicity, means they are easy to read and write compared to the class component, because class component are more complex as compared to the functional component. It has so in the re- in in reference to read and write. So functional control are easy to implement and simple. Now for the performance point of view, they are slightly faster because they don't have to deal with the overhead of this keyword. This keyword is only used for class component, not in the functional component. So performance of functional component is more better than the class component. Now third part is the hooks. With hook, functional component can now handle states and lifecycle method which are previously only possible with class component. As class component have the built-in lifecycle method which were not used by diversity, not directly used by the functional component, but in order to but with the introduction of hook in the React, they are now able to use the React and state lifecycle method which are used by the class component previously. And now it can also be used by the functional component. Now as we are moved to our last topic, that is the conclusion. And they are you have it, a simple and interactive to-do list is built with functional component React. Functional components are powerful, especially with the use of hooks, and can simplify your code significantly. I hope if you found this video helpful. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more web development tutorials. Hit the bell icon to get notified whenever you post new content. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.